Hey, good morning. Welcome back to Pokesue channel and the guitar letter system. Hey, I'm showing this guitar. I've showed this before. I'm really into made in Japan guitars. Especially, I used to be an Ibanez collector, especially really into the script logo 70s guitars made in Japan, which are really hard to find, by the way. I think a lot of people really don't realize how hard I work and how much I've learned about guitars to look for the ones that are very special, have the magic mojo. It's not bullshit. In fact, a guy just bought a guitar from me who's bought I think 4 or 5 art shops from me in the past, and he recently bought another guitar from me. We have a little joke about the magic mojo, but it's really true. You know, some guitars are just really special. But yeah, this is a Ibanez 70s model 677. It's called Concord, but what confuses a lot of people, it's got the three-piece back like a Martin D35, which I usually sell for about $3,000. But what confuses people is a lot of companies, they double up on the model number. Like there's a lot of Concords that aren't anything like this. They don't have the three-piece back. They don't have a rosewood back. So it confuses people. People learn a little bit about guitars and then think that they're total experts. I've been buying and selling guitars for 30 years. I'm still learning, but I've learned a lot. But this is a rare one, kind of a variant. And like I said, they're not all the same. So it confuses people because I've had Ibanez Concords that had like flame maple back. I've had them that had mahogany back. This is, I think, one of the first ones I've had that has the rosewood three-piece back like a Martin D35. So it probably qualifies as a lawsuit model because they did get sued. They did get sued by Martin and Gibson. And this thing just sounds incredible, though. If somebody brought this to me to appraise, I would appraise it at about $2,500. And what's interesting, about a guitar like this, and I love a good Martin D35. I've had a lot of them, and I've sold quite a few of them, and they're cool. And they have a great tone, but they don't have the overtone series that a guitar like this has. They don't have the sparkly mid-range. They don't have the sparkly mid-bass. They don't have that mid-range, bloomy, crystalline quality. There's not as much definition. And again, I used a D35 on my CD, which is actually reviewed at Vintage Guitar Magazine. If you want to go to vintageguitar.com, put in Steve Zook, you can read my review. I've got some cred, folks. It's not an ego trip with me. I just know what I'm doing. And my guitar business, even though it's small, it's very spiritual. I work really hard, but I look for things that are really unique. I was really stoked when I got this. Recently, some guy hit me up about it, but I mean, I got to make a little bit of profit on stuff I sell. I don't make a lot of money on this stuff, guys, but I think a lot of people just don't realize, like I said, see, it's the definition, and this is not a performance, obviously. I'm just trying to show the guitar, but that's the thing. I love a good Martin D28 or a good Martin D35, and the three-piece back, brings out the mid-range and the mid-bass, which is where most guitars are weak, especially acoustic guitars, especially dreads. Most dreads, they have a lot of phase cancellation. The big sound kind of cancels itself out at certain places. That's why the three-piece back kind of neutralizes some of that. But this, I mean, to me, this sounds better than even a good D35. And again, I used a D35 Martin, I think in early 70s on my CD transporter. If you want to listen to some of my music, you can go to stevezook1.bandcamp.com or just Google Steve Zook Bandcamp. But anyway, like if I had to appraise this, I think I'd appraise it like $2,000, $2,500. I don't need to get anywhere near that for it, but I got to make a little profit on this. These are old strings too. But hear how the sound, has beautiful mid-range and beautiful mid-bass and beautiful treble. but it's got that sparkling mid-range and mid-bass, and that's the kicker, guys and gals. So yeah, I mean, this guitar, you know, I'd like to get about 14 for it to be happy and feel like it's, you know, my time is worth its effort, you know. But yeah, script logo, and most of the guitars I sell are really good investments too. I mean, they're going to go up in value. But yeah, you just can't walk in. I mean, you could go to 100 music stores, you probably wouldn't even find one of these. In fact, I know you wouldn't. But what confuses? What confuses people is when companies have the same name for a guitar, but there's many different variants of it that are different. That's confusing, and I can get that, you know. Most of the Concords aren't anything like this one. This says 677 Concord, but this is made in Japan. Rare script logo, lawsuit model, 3-piece back. Again, I would appraise this at $2,000 to $2,500. Most made in Japan guitars, you know, are in that range, and depending on what you're looking at, of course, right? You know, but this is a really rare guitar, and the tone is not something that it's easy to find. I mean, this is the kind of tone that even a great luthier would hope he could reproduce, but he probably can't, he or she, because you can't fake the sound of old wood. This wood's from the 70s, was probably cured correctly. You know, the Japanese know a lot of secrets about making great guitars. Yeah, this is incredible. I'm a little surprised nobody's bought it. But the thing is, a lot of people shop for a guitar with their wallet. You know, it's like it's got to be a really, really killer price or they're not going to buy it, or price is always the issue. I've actually made money and got to spend some time with some really great guitars by paying a little bit more. And usually they go up in value, you know. But it's kind of like a speculator type thing. But yeah, these aren't even new strings. But that overtone series. What a tone. And again, like I said, I love a good Martin D28. I love a good Martin D35. But most of them don't have this. In fact, none of them do. I've played a ton of them. They don't have the sparkle. They don't have that sparkle overtone bloom in the mid-range and the mid-bass that this has. So I think I started off with this guitar somewhere around $2,000. I'd be okay at 14. Has a nice case. Yes, you got to pay some shipping, but I just think a lot of people shop with their wallet, and you're missing out on a lot of great guitars, and a lot of guitars that will go up in value over time. It's just the Japanese haven't spent as much money on branding and neuro branding and marketing and advertising like the other companies. Yeah, this is an incredible guitar. It's just really beautiful too, and it's got some really beautiful, you know, wood on it, and a hell of a box. Has a nice case. I don't think it's an Ibanez case. Again, not a performance, just showing the guitar. See, that's really the trick to a great acoustic guitar, is to have that orchestral presentation where it's a beautiful blend of bass, mid-range, and treble with nice overtone series, but with definition in the mid-range and the mid-bass, which is usually where most dreadnoughts really fail, because there's a lot of phase cancellation. The sound is so big, travels around the big guitar, it kind of cancels itself out. So one of the things that remedies that is when these companies use wood that's old, it's treated, And there's a few other tricks that the Japanese know that nobody even knows what they are. But hear that? That's beautiful. Beautiful definition. I'd love to keep this guitar, but I can't afford to keep everything that I buy to resell. But that's a rare tone that you just can't. I don't care how much. I don't care if you spend 10. I've played guitars that are worth 30 grand. That this thing would blow them away, and I'm not kidding. I've played guitars owned by millionaires, where they thought because they spent 30 grand they got a really great guitar. It was a decent guitar, but not anywhere near the money. My whole thing is finding guitars that are tremendous value for the money, and not, you don't have to pay, arm and leg for it. But yeah, that's the problem with most big dreads, is they just, and most acoustic guitars in general, and even a lot of hollow bodies and arch tops, is that they're just weak in the mid-range and the mid-bass. And I've said it a million freaking times, guys and gals, the great guitars are few and far between. But nothing replaces the sound of old wood. What a beautiful tone. It's just a tremendous. And by the way, I'm just using the Zoom Q3, which was $100. It's got small, cheap mics, nothing special here. Recently I had a problem where I could record with my Zoom Q3, but I couldn't transfer it to my computer. And I was looking online and couldn't find anything to help me. And then I remembered somebody doing it this way years ago. That I think I had bought it from the store or something. I've had a couple, 2 or 3 of these. All you have to do to fix the problem is take the SD card out and then put the SD card in your computer, and then find the file and find the Q3 from there, and you can. And I looked all over the net and couldn't find that information. So if you have a Q3 and you're having trouble, just take this SD card out, put the card directly in your computer, and then look for the file. But yeah, this is a hell of a box. I'd be okay with 14 plus shipping. And again, to me, this guitar is a $2,000, $2,500 guitar, easy, because it blows away even a good Martin D35. Here, so I'm not trying to impress anybody. What a great. Anyway, this is a beautiful guitar. I'm really gonna miss it, but I mean, I get a lot of happiness and joy, as corny as it sounds, if because like I got people that have bought 4 or 5 guitars from me, and they know if they buy a guitar from me, it's gonna have the magic mojo. It's not bullshit. It's not cute salesmanship. I know what the hell I'm doing, guys and gals. This is such a nice guitar. I need to get my shit together so I don't have to sell stuff like this, right? But yeah, 3-piece back, provides more definition, better overtones, provides that beautiful mid-range and mid-bass and overtone series, but with air inside the note while having definition. Just like a great Stradivarius violin worth, $3-4 million. A great musical instrument, has a beautiful voice, beautiful orchestral balance between bass, treble, and bass, mid-range, mid-bass, treble, overtone series, and air inside the note with definition. I rest my case. This is such a nice guitar. If you can afford to spend $1,400, this is a great investment as well. But yeah, I don't want to give it away. I'm not going to sell it for $1,000. I got to make a little money, guys. But yeah, this is really, And I used to be an Ibanez collector and had a lot of them, and I sold them and did pretty well. I made money on them, but if I would have kept them longer, they would have they went up even more. This is a sleeper. This is not a guitar that's easy to find with the rosewood back, made in Japan in the 70s, script logo, just a tremendous instrument. And again, I'm just using a little Zoom Q3. It's a $90, $100 video recorder with really small little cheap mics. And again, not trying to impress anybody with my demo. I'm trying to create space so you can hear the guitar. I think a lot of demos people play too much. They don't leave enough space. That's it. It's that says it all right there. It's an orchestral tone. So yeah, I saw this guitar for 14. I really prefer a wire transfer. I don't want to go through. I've been screwed by PayPal. I don't like the company. I think it's a mess. I've been screwed by PayPal where it wasn't even anything that had anything to do with me. They're just very unorganized. I don't like PayPal. Anyway, so I really prefer wire transfer. It might cost you $20 for the transfer. If you're worried about it, I'll split the transfer fee with you. Yeah, this is... The problem with getting a great guitar value is when people discover it's a good value, then the price goes up and everybody wants one, So you kind of have to bring a little faith to the table and figure out who you're going to believe, But I know what I'm doing, folks. I got a letter on my wall from Les Paul. Les Paul sent me a letter saying he likes a product I invented called the Speed Pick, which is marketed by Dunlop. They also market my Zookies, which uses the same design that I designed on the Speed Pick. My CDs reviewed at Vintage Guitar Magazine. I just say this stuff for cred, not as an ego trip. I know what I'm doing, If I say a guitar is a great guitar, it's not bullshit. But if you're just shopping with your wallet, you're just, waiting to find something, that is a steal, maybe I'm not the person you should buy from. I don't make that much. I need to make a little bit of profit for my time, but my stuff is a really, really great, wise value. I've got a lot of happy customers. Script logo Ibanez, collectible as hell. Sounds like a $3,000-$4,000 guitar in my mind. It's got a nice action, nice setup. There's plenty of saddle left if you want it lower. I don't think anybody's going to really need the action lower. It's got nice aged binding. This is a hell of a piece, hell of a guitar. Really, really has a tone that's not easy. Again, the great guitars are few and far between. They're not easy to find. I spent a lot of time. I drive a lot. If I don't love a guitar, I don't buy it. I don't just buy something because it's cheap. I kind of go the other way. I try to get a good value. I try to leave a little profit in a deal for me. But yeah, this is a really rare guitar. This is not something easy to find, and nothing sounds as good as old wood. You just, you get wood from the 70s. So what? The wood is like 40, 50 years old at least, maybe older. And I learned this from somebody who was a very knowledgeable person. That the Ibanez and a lot of the Japanese companies stored wood under the ocean to help treat the wood. that definition, that one note even. That kind of says it all. See, that note has bass, but it has mid-range and mid-bass and bloom and sparkle. Sparkle mouse. That's a joke. Only my kids would get that joke. But anyway, if you're interested, and this guitar is not going to be sitting around forever. Somebody's going to hear this and just have to have it because it's that great. It's a great value for $1,400 with the case. Yes, you need to pay some shipping. Prefer wire transfer. The wire transfer fee bums you out. I'll split it with you. You know. But yeah, this is a great investment and a really great guitar. This could embarrass guitars going for $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. See, it's that overtone and definition and bloom and air inside the note. What a hell of a guitar. Yeah, I haven't played this guitar for a while. I forgot how good it is. It even sounds good played soft, which is another acid test of a great guitar. But that's one of the reasons why smaller guitars sound so good, because they don't have as much phase cancellation, like your double O size, your triple O size, even some of the smaller parlors. So when you can find a dreadnought, guitar that has bloom, great overtones, and it's not choking itself and you know, burying the beautiful mid-range, mid-bass, and overtones, that's a rare instrument, and that's not bullshit. All right, folks, if you're interested, you can email me, steve67@yahoo.com. That's the number 7 not spelled out, or text me 714-548-0385. You want to attract more money into your life, you need to think about what you're thinking about and focus on abundance. Here's the affirmation for today. Abundance, prosperity, and financial miracles is my natural state, and now manifesting in my daily life with no limit, no order of difficulty, with good to all concerned. Ciao.